Hey guys, this is Matt Crompton here. I'm a field marketer at the Titan Outlet Store. Today we're going to do a little presentation of what to look for as far as some things when you're purchasing a mower conditioner. So I'm going to start by just doing a walk around here, so we'll get started here. Some of the things you want to look for on these new series, HS series, on these 1475, especially a 16 to an 18-foot mower conditioner, are the poly sides. Make sure they're not all beat up and dented, you know, because you're going to run into the belts getting hit or pulled off. Also, you'll want to notice, if you take a look at your reel here, you'll notice this one in particular has a lot of damage from rocks. You know, a lot of guys like to make sure that those are straight. That's a key thing for the product going in and feeding well. You're going to have a lot of plugging otherwise. Another key feature, which this one is really good, is the main bar. That's going to knock your product down a little bit, feed well into there. From there, I would like to look at your sickle, which you get down into this part of the mower conditioner. Make sure all your guards look good. One of the deals I just noticed now is that I got a few broken guards in here. That's very important. You'll notice here we got a broken guard. You know, you'll get you're gonna get missing skips or plugging in case of that. Also, make sure your sickle looks good. None of them are broke. You know, they got a nice cut edge to them. Here, these look really good. You know, these will clean up really nice. That sickle looks really good. Looks like they've replaced a lot of the holders as well, original. And from there, if we move over to the center of the unit here, guys, which is going to be hard to see, but here's your floor, and I don't see any denting going on in there. You know, your plates are all straight. Doesn't look like any rocks have hit this one. That's really nice. That's going to help the alfalfa or your grass feed that much easier into the auger, which will then shoot through the rollers. So that looks good. Also, here you'll notice your teeth. We got a few that are bent. That's another feature, you know. There, easy fix, just a nice little 1/4-inch bolt. If we go to the back side now, actually I'm going to go to the side and I'll pop this open for my guy here on the camera. And these will just lock like that. You'll definitely want to look at your pulleys, which these all look good. This is original. The belts look good. There is no tearing going on, cracks. Belts look really good. You'll want to look for maybe any possible, a lot of grease, oil. And of course, you want to make sure that the guys have been greasing the unit. You know, obviously, if you don't hit those units, you're more apt to have a lot of damage. It also tells you right here how often to grease the unit. That's a nice feature. And so, another key thing on these New Holland hay binds is that your arms here. There has been a few issues where the arms get bent, and they've done a lot of welding and fabricating. These look really good. Everything's original. It's not, nothing's been hid, no welding. Everything looks really good on this side. So I'll pull this down for you. And as you can see, this is a very nice poly cover. Still got the decals, which means they've done a really good job as far as, you know, on the outside edges and stuff. Everything looks really good. The lights are intact. Just make sure you want to buckle that up again. So we'll move on to the back side here on the rear. Here you got your tires, which are very crucial. A lot of guys will end up, you know, transporting these things. If you look close here, this tire here is starting to have a lot of weather check going on. Not too bad. You notice down here it's starting to open up. Something to watch for. Tires are very important. A tire and a rim like this, you're looking at $300 to $400 just for a cost repair. And you know, It's a key feature with this kind of stuff. So I'll open up here on your back side here on your drive. Now here is your pump, and you also will notice down in these corners are your knuckles, which run your rollers. There you'll want to make sure there is no lot of play in these. These are very tight. You will notice a lot of grease around there just because the guys are greasing. Here's another grease cert right over here. Everything there is original. Pump looks really clean, no leaks. That's a good sign. There again, you know, you got a lot of product going through here. It's a lot of cramping down on them, so that looks really good. Everything's factory there. Once again, just make sure that you secure that. Here is your adjustment for if you're thinking of, you know, wanting to push that stuff down, or if you want a higher deal. You can see how our chute is going up and down in there, so that's a nice feature. Another key thing I believe on this is I get a lot of calls with your spring tensioning, which you know, it does play a factor in on your rolls. You always want to try and keep these even, and keeping them even means that you're doing a great job as far as keeping tension on your rollers. I've noticed a lot of times when they come in, they're always, it seems like they're lopsided, you know, as far as guys probably just not paying attention as far, you know, we got 10 inches on this side, 4 inches on this side, which you're going to get a lot of uneven wear on your rollers, and that's a very costly expense. So something to watch out for, guys. Another thing is, you know, your cylinders, you know, just make sure, you know, when you're looking at this one here is very good condition. There is no oil leak. You know, everything looks really nice and clean here. Here's your adjustment again for how big of a windrow you want to do. It's nice to see all these stickers intact. You know, safety is a key issue when you're going down a slow, you're moving a slow vehicle. So it's really nice to see all these intact, the lights working, everything else. Getting back to here, this is your swing. You got your lock there. Another deal here is I see no oil. You know, cylinders look good. They've done a pretty good job on this one. There's just a little bit of corrosion from some hay sitting there, but they've done a really good job as far as washing the unit. I'll grab my guy here and we'll kind of sneak a picture underneath here. Now you'll see, I'm going to try and get a little bit closer in here for you guys. Here's our two main rollers. On your 1475s, mower conditioners, if in fact your Case IH, McDon, all these, they have a rubber roller that has a staggered look to it. This one looks really good. Keeping that pressure and the adjustment is very key, like I said before earlier. You know, this is a high cost. This is probably your biggest expense into the unit. And what you'll notice over here is there's a little bit of out of adjustment there. So that's something that whoever purchases a unit or ourselves will keep an eye on and make sure everything else looks really good back here. So there again, your flap, how much you want that hay coming back and dropping. So key thing, guys, make sure you keep these things in balance and keep an eye, you know, watch for bearings and stuff like that. Now we'll move back to the corner here. There again, you know, we always like to see our danger points to keep your fingers out, you know, all that stuff. Got your operator's manual back here. It's a good place. Nice to have those things along in case you do get into a pickle. There again, what we were just talking about, I do notice on this particular unit, we're off about 2 inches again. I'm sure they're talking about adjustment overall, you know, balancing that thing out, and I can see it in the rollers now, where we're just, that's something that they'll really want to watch and focus on. Here again, tires are good, springs look good. You know, you just want to make sure. Here again, we got an adjustment here. It's got a high, medium, and low. Grease certs. Guys, you know that. grease is very important, so makes your unit last a lot longer. So I'll pop this cover open. This is mainly just dirt. Obviously, it's not been washed. On the new Hollands, there was a little bit of a problem here with this shaft here breaking, but as you can see, this is all original. Evan's getting a great shot of that, but I mean, this is all original. A lot of guys had to weld that, but overall, just make sure you grease, keep an eye on that. Make sure your lock collars are nice and tight. Otherwise, you're gonna get the play, and that's where you're gonna get your shaft starting to spin and break. So, things to watch out there. Once again, always make sure everything's latched good, guys. We got your stands, you know, use that stuff, takes the pressure off of stuff. Here again, we got our nice decals, warning labels, you know, gives you all the clues. Lights are intact. I'll pop this cover just one last time, just to give you guys a couple of little things. There's, you know, this is obviously on the more on the drive side with the rollers and stuff. Here you got your bigger pulley, belts, all look really good. Haven't been spun. You know, there's a little bit of wear starting to come around. They've done a really good job as far as keeping their chains good. Make sure your spring is tensioner's nice and tight. This one here seems perfect. As you can see, grease cert. Always make sure to keep your key stock in there, otherwise you're going to spin that pulley right off. Here again, they've done a really good job of greasing the chain. This is one thing we found too, is that your key stock trying to work its way out. What happens there? Key falls out, spins that, wrecks your shaft. It's a very expensive deal. We go back to your drive, your gearbox again. You know, we're talking 4 to 6 grease certs there. Really important, guys. You know, you always have that grease gun along. Grease is cheap compared to maintenance. You got another tensioner back here. Previous owner did a really good job. Everything looks really good. There again, tells you exactly how to grease, when to grease. So things look really good. No welds underneath here. You know, this bracket has been bent. Obviously, you know, it runs on the ground, so. One more key thing, guys, is I'd like to point out, if I can get Evan to shoot down the auger, is you always want to make sure that auger's running straight, it's not out of whack. You can notice down in the center section there, you'll have your flap with an angle bracket. This one here is going to need to be replaced. You can see that it's been bent, maybe had a few rocks run through it. That's a very key thing to having your product feed in to the rollers once again. So check those things out. That's a very inexpensive deal. You know, it's just a bracket and a rubber flap. So there are 3 on this unit. Auger looks really good. Now we'll just work our way up to the tongue here, and you know, you got your toolbox here, you got a jack stand here, obviously all your electrical, make sure all that thing's good. You know, I just noticed here you didn't plug in the lights, but we always want to make sure if our lights, that's a safety, guys. You know, we always push for safety. So here's you got your remotes. He did a good job plumbing all that in. You got your hydraulic pump, 1000 PTO. You know, just remember, guys, safety chains, another safety deal. So they make them for a reason. We always like to know that you guys are always pushing for safety here at Titan. That's a key thing. We never want to hear about farmers getting an arm cut off or a leg caught in something, or for that matter, you know, an accidental death. So really push that into factor. So overall, this is a great machine. I'm just, like I said, just wanted to point out a few things. I'm Matt Crompton. I'm with a Titan outlet store here. I'm a field marketer here. we're just doing a nice how-to, what to look for in a mower conditioner. Everybody has their own opinion on what they want to look for, but overall, you know, a nice machine. I think this would work great for a nice hay guy. So I'd just like to thank you for taking the time to watch this how-to video, and wish you luck on your purchases.